Hello people of the internet, welcome to my channel. I have a Nikon P610. This is basically a point and shoot camera with high zoom. The Nikon P610 has 60 times optical zooming capacity. I usually use it for clicking portraits, bird photography and landscape. The bird in this picture is called coppersmith barbet. These are some handheld bird pictures that I could click using the camera. However, this is a very versatile camera. You can use it to click macros as well, and it can focus on objects that is close to as good as 1 centimeter. This is a picture of a drop on a feather. Pictures like these are very much possible with the Nikon P610, but you need good lighting and a tripod. Recently I was able to photograph Jupiter and Saturn. This is a picture of Jupiter along with its moons. Notice how Jupiter is so bright. This is a result of high ISO and slow shutter speed.
Next is a picture of Saturn. Notice how it is well exposed. It is a result of low ISO and quick shutter speed.
In this video, I'll be sharing my list of 5 essential items that you will need to photograph Saturn and Jupiter. Number 1, that is tripod. A tripod not essential, but it will help greatly. This will help in spotting and keeping your camera stable. Number 2, your timer settings. Very far distances, even slight camera shake can result in destroying your photo completely. So I would strongly recommend using at least 2 seconds of timer. 10 seconds would be even better. This is because if you have a cheap tripod and there is some amount of shake in it, so this will give the camera some time to stabilize before the camera takes a picture. Next we are focusing on is the ISO and the shutter speed settings. I would like to start by mentioning there is a trade-off between this. So I was also able to picture the Galilean moons, that is Europa, Io, Ganymede and Callisto. In order to picture the moons, you will need a slightly higher exposure and slower shutter speed. What worked best for me was an ISO of 800 to 1600 and a shutter speed of about 1 second. Anything higher than 1 second would lead to slight amount of motion blur, that is I believe due to the rotation. This technique will help you make the moons visible, but it will rob you of the details on the planet, like for example Saturn. To photograph Saturn, we can use an ISO of 100 and we can set the shutter speed at 1/120. We will be pushing the camera to its absolute limit. So in this case, the rings on Saturn won't be as visible as you see it in popular media, but yes, it will definitely be present and you will be able to make sense out of it. Next we need to work about is the focus. When we are photographing the planets, we need to set the focus to infinity. So in our camera settings, there is a function to set focus to infinity that is mostly used for landscape, but then from my personal experience, and moving the focus meter to say maximum helps and gives you better results. So once we are done with the camera settings, I think we need to spot the planets. So for spotting the planets, I have been using this app called Sky Map. It is Android app and it can be found easily on Play Store. I'll be putting the links in the description. The part is hope for clear skies and good seeing. So usually a moonless night would be ideal. There should be no clouds and you would want to picture the planets when they are directly at the top of the horizon. This will give you the least amount of atmosphere to gaze through. So as the planet starts moving towards the horizon, you will be looking at the planets through more amount of atmosphere. This will lead to more blurring and loss of detail. In this section, we will be covering some of the possible mistakes that can be avoided. Determine beforehand what you are looking for in the picture, if it is the details on a planet or the visibility of the moons. In this image, we can see how each moon has created its own straight line due to bad shutter speed. For the moons, do not exceed shutter speed greater than 1 second, as it will induce motion blur due to Earth's rotation. If you do not have a tripod, you can stack books and try to point the camera, but this will be very troublesome. So find a flat surface to set up tripod and make sure your camera is able to stabilize within the timer settings selected. Go for 10 seconds in case of any doubts. If your camera can use a remote trigger, that would help as well. With high zoom, even slight disturbances like a gentle breeze can cause camera shake. I hope you guys were able to learn something from this video, and if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed to this, please go ahead and do that right now. Thank you for watching.